What's going on, Alabama fans? Chris Daughtry back with another edition of the Alabama Football Report by Chat Sports. First up here on today's show, the Week 5 AP poll. The Crimson Tide actually fell multiple spots. They fell 3 spots in this week's AP poll, down to number 17 when they didn't even play on their bye week. I don't really think that matters a whole ton, but what does matter for the AP or about the AP poll with the Crimson Tide is how many teams left on their schedule are ranked inside the top 25. It is going to be an absolutely brutal schedule down the road for Alabama. We'll go over that here in just a second, but first, make sure you guys are subscribed right here to the Alabama Football Report by Chat Sports. We're going to be back live this weekend for Alabama versus Georgia for our live watch party. We're also going to be giving away that Alabama jersey, so make sure you guys come hang out, join us, hit that sub button for me right now. All right, the SEC now has 10 teams that are ranked inside the top 25, which is just absolutely ridiculous, to be honest with you, that almost half of the top 25 has SEC teams in them. LSU ranked number 4, Georgia ranked number 5, Oklahoma, with that win over Auburn. They are now up to 7. Texas A&M at 9. Texas Longhorns at 10. Ole Miss at 13. Tennessee at 15. And Alabama drops down to 17, which is just kind of crazy, but doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Number 18, Vanderbilt, and number 20, the Missouri Tigers. That leaves 6 teams now on Alabama's schedule that are ranked inside the top 25. And I got to be honest with you guys, I am pretty nervous going down the road because, with this new look Alabama team under Kalen DeBoer, and look, anything could happen. You go to Athens this weekend to play Georgia. Vanderbilt had a very impressive win last week against South Carolina, another one this weekend as well. Missouri ended up beating South Carolina this past weekend as well. And, that one's kind of interesting because South Carolina was a team that, a lot of us, I think, were very nervous going to South Carolina. Yeah, they're unranked now, but they could still beat you. You also play number 15, Tennessee. They're looking pretty decent. Even after that Georgia loss, they had a big bounce-back win this past weekend. LSU has looked pretty good so far this year, and then Oklahoma also beating a pretty decent-looking Auburn team. I'm not going to even lie about that this past weekend. Sure, they might have had a little bit of luck, but they also had 10 sacks in that game as well. Oklahoma looks like a very, very good football team. And by the way, you also have to go to Auburn. They're unranked right now, but still, that's still going to be a very, very tough game for the Crimson Tide. So what game are you most nervous about left on Alabama's schedule right now? Let me know what you guys think down at the pinned comment of today's video. Which game are you most nervous about? I got to be completely honest with you guys. I'm pretty nervous about every single game left on Alabama's schedule right now. I think any team could beat Alabama, but on the flip side of things, I also think Alabama could still go undefeated the rest of the season. Look, they have a very, very good team. Their roster is absolutely loaded, and as we'll talk about here in just a little bit as well, you got some guys returning for you that I think is going to help a whole lot, but it's going to be a very, very tough road. I actually looked at strength of schedule, and Alabama's not even in the top 20 on ESPN in strength of schedule right now, which to me, that absolutely blows my mind when you still have 6 more teams left on your schedule that are ranked, plus you also played Florida State. They're also ranked inside the top 10 right now, so it's going to be a very, very tough road for Alabama down the stretch, and I think a whole lot of different scenarios and outcomes could come from this Alabama team, but we'll see what this team is really made of this week as they go down to Georgia. All right, make sure you guys, a major deal alert for you here. Only $52, down from over $100 now. You guys can get an extra 30% off just by using promo code TURF at chatsports.com/BamaFullZip. You can get this Alabama full zip jacket today. It's officially starting to get a little bit colder now. So if you guys need a new Alabama jacket, just go to chatsports.com/BamaFullZip. Use promo code TURF to get 30% off today. It is only available for today. So if you guys need some new Alabama gear, make sure you get that. That'll be down at the pinned comment of today's show. It'll also be down in the description of today's show as well. Now, we talked a second ago about some of these, massive leaders returning for Alabama. And, it's not confirmed yet. I'm sure we technically won't know until game time or maybe even something like Thursday night. But by the way, too, this is the first SEC game for Alabama. So we will get some availability reports starting on Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday, and then I think about an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that before game time. But if Tim Keenan and Jam Miller are able to come back for Alabama, that is going to be a huge win because this is the biggest game so far this season. It's going to be the most physical game so far this season, and having both of these guys back is going to be a big, big deal, especially a guy like Jam Miller. I think so far this Alabama running game has been underwhelming, to be completely honest with you. I was really excited about, some of these other guys really being able to step up, and I don't necessarily think, they've done that so far. Kevin Riley has really been the only guy for this Alabama team that has really looked, solid at that running back spot. I've said it, a ton here on the show. Every single time Kevin Riley gets into the football game, he brings a different kind of juice to this Alabama offense. And I do think with the addition, if you get him back, this week was always kind of that, time frame to get Jam Miller back. If you're able to get him back, that's just going to add another element to this Alabama offense. You can see here in the past couple of years has never averaged under 4.5 yards per carry so far in his career, 5 yards per carry for Jam Miller. So if you guys remember a couple weeks ago before the season started, Ryan Grubb was kind of asked, what he's seen in this Alabama run game, and he had a one-word reaction, Jam Miller. That was it. So if they can get him back for this game against Georgia, has had multiple touchdowns against Georgia, especially in the passing game. He's had 2 receiving touchdowns against Georgia in the past as well. So if Alabama can get Jam Miller back, that is going to be a much-needed addition. So what do you guys think? Let me know down inside the comment section. Does Jam Miller score a touchdown versus Georgia this weekend? What do you guys think? Type Y for yes or N for no down in the comment section of today's show. Now, Tim Keenan will also be a very welcome addition to this Alabama defensive line if indeed he does end up returning against Georgia this week. I will say, outside of that Florida State game, for the most part, this Alabama defensive line has really stepped up and been a whole lot better since that first game of the season versus Florida State. London Simmons has really been a guy that has, stepped up as a true freshman, a former 3-star that, was kind of shoved into some playing time. Nobody really expected a guy like London Simmons to really have to step up and, play for Alabama this year, especially over guys like Edric Hill and Asai Faga. London Simmons has been really, really good so far. And James Smith as well. He's really kind of, still starting to feel it a little bit. He was playing pretty good against Wisconsin this past week. But I'll be honest with you guys, Wisconsin just might be bad. So this is going to be another step for this Alabama defensive line. Same thing with those bandit spots. I mean, those guys really, they've been okay. LT Overton had a couple of sacks last week against Wisconsin, but this is just another type of test for this Alabama team, and it is definitely make or break time for this Alabama team right now. You're getting into this SEC schedule, and yeah, in that first game of the season when you played Florida State, you went down there, you had this incredible first drive, you go down there, you score a touchdown, and then you get punched back, and then you just kind of, fall flat on your face, and you never really were able to get back up. So I'm very excited to see how this Alabama team really plays going down to Athens. It's going to be a tough game. They're a very, very good team, and they also have a mobile quarterback as well. So I'm interested to see just how this Alabama team is going to be able to respond to some adversity, because they're definitely going to see some this week against Georgia.